provide an accommodating workplace for people with mental health challenges, while encouraging responsibility for one's behavior regardless of disability.
So, let's start at the first step. Having a workplace that is encouraging of any kind of accommodations is that first step. So, with invisible or non-apparent disabilities like mental health, they are often not believed. People feel like, it's a controllable thing because you can't physically see the disability. So number one, anyone in the workplace really needs to feel comfortable requesting accommodations, etc. And that will include people with mental health. Now, with mental health disorders, conditions, etc., we really need to look at the organization as a whole. Since the pandemic, more and more organizations and companies are really looking at work-life balance as well as mental health in the workplace. We're looking at more flexible schedules, looking at how people are happier inside the workplace. And so a lot of those things that work for people without mental health conditions work also for people with mental health conditions, because a lot of it allows for the flexibility for people to take breaks or take, absences here and there when needed, as long as we're getting our work done. And I think that's the second part of that question is, yes, when we all, every single one of us, disability or not, sign up for a position, we are responsible for the duties that are on those minimum requirements list. And this is something I talk to leaders, supervisors, and managers about a lot. That if anyone in your department is not meeting expectations, regardless of disability or not, that needs to be on a performance review. Now, if there's somebody with a documented disability, we also need to look at what accommodations they are receiving, or do they need accommodations. But with reasonable accommodations, the person should still be able to complete the minimum job requirements on their job description. So, that's the piece of the ADA is they can do all of these requirements with reasonable accommodation. Now, if that person is not doing that, then they are not fit for that job. And people might say, Emily, that's really harsh. And I'm saying, no, it's not. We, as people with disabilities, need to be advocating for ourselves as far as receiving accommodations. Also, the employer needs to be accepting of those accommodations if they're reasonable. That doesn't mean anything under the sun is reasonable. And if with reasonable accommodations we cannot perform that full job, then that's not the job for us. And that is really, really hard for people to kind of grasp and accept, is no matter how many accommodations you put in place, I cannot be a truck driver. It might be really, really fun for me, and I might really, really want to do it. And I might tell you that with the magnified windshield, I'm really going out there on the limb here, I would be able to drive a truck, and they give me that magnified windshield, and I still can't do that job. That's not the right job for me. But some people have a hard time accepting that. So it is really up to management and supervisors to do that training and have those conversations with employees to figure out what they need to do the job, and if that's not the job for them, what else should they or could they be doing, either inside the organization or maybe not inside the organization.